All right, everybody. Happy Sunday to you, wherever you're at today, whatever you're doing. A little bit something different today. I want to go over my personal list of what I consider the five most overrated coaches in college football. Now, when we start talking overrated coaches, I hear this all the time. Like one of the first names comes up is Dabo. Dabo's over. Dabo doesn't have much NIL to work with. Okay. Um, or Kirk Ferentz, same situation up there. They actually do a pretty good job with what they've got. Um, what I consider an overrated coach is a coach that has the players, has the facilities, has the backing, has the money, and still isn't getting it done. Okay. Now there will be no first year coaches on this list. Okay. These are all guys have been there at least 2 years. 2 years may be a little bit unfair. One guy's on this list that has only had 2 seasons. But just going from what I've seen, my opinion means nothing. I want to go through the five most overrated coaches that have the best opportunity to win national championships, but for some reason do not get it done. Okay. So at number five, I've got Joey McGuire at Texas Tech. Joey's been there 4 seasons. He has a 35-18 record. He has one Big 12 title in a conference that, quite honestly, isn't very strong. Okay. And he's been there during the whole NIL era. So, and Texas Tech has plenty of cash. He should have not had 18 losses by now. Okay. That's just not very good. He's got one playoff appearance, and he had a very ugly 2024 Liberty Bowl loss that probably shouldn't happen. Joey McGuire comes in at number five on this list. Um, Going up to number four, Steve Sarkisian. Steve Sarkisian has been at one of the most preeminent, funded, you know, well-heeled schools college football will ever know and has ever known. He's been there 5 seasons. He's got a 48-20 record. 48-20, with year after year among the highest NIL rosters that there are. Now, he's won a lot of games, sure, but he's not winning the games. Okay? He's not winning the games. He doesn't have an SEC title. I believe last check he was 0 for against Georgia. Um, I don't even have to bring up a horrible loss to a 4-8 Florida team last year. Inexcusable. 4-8 Florida. Should have never happened. The guy gets all the players he wants. The school gives him unlimited amounts of money to do what he needs to do, and he hasn't really won anything. Going on to number three, and here's the guy I had a little bit of trouble, a little bit of hesitation. Probably not fair to put him on here right now. But I went with Mike Elko at number three. Only been there a couple of years. But what jumps out at me is both those years he's been there, it's been during the NIL era. Texas A&M can pay with anybody, unlimited amounts of cash, can buy anybody they want. He has a 19-7 overall record, which roughly puts him in the same category as Kalen DeBoer when he has 10 times the resources Kalen DeBoer has. No SEC championship game appearance, and he lost in 2024 to OK South Carolina team. South Carolina should not have been on the field with the Texas A&M team. Sorry, Texas A&M should have had that game over by halftime. Again, a little early for Mike Elko, but in 2 seasons with all the backing he's got, all the funding he's got, all the money they've got, 19-7 just doesn't strike me as very good. Now, we get to the two what I think are most interesting. And I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on, you know, who would be who would be who would be who. I finally settled on the number one, but let's start with number two first. And people's heads are going to explode when I say this. Number two on my list is Dan Lanning. That's right, Dan Lanning. Now, let me preface this by saying you're talking about a school that has more money than the Vatican. You're talking about a school that has one investor that basically has an open checkbook to do whatever. And for some reason, in what, 5 seasons? Not much. Okay. Now, I know everybody's saying, well, look at his, he's got a 48-8 record, blah, 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 blah. Well, this is not 15 years ago. This is now. This is now when what matters is money. What matters is NIL. What matters is being able to buy players. Nobody can do it at the level he can. Okay. Yes, he's 48-8, 86% winning percentage. Very good. Very impressive. 20 years ago. Not so impressive today. Not in my book. In those 5 seasons, he's got one Big Ten title. He had a loss to Oregon State 1 year. Okay. Here's a guy who, in my opinion, has done less with more. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. You take Kirby Smart at Georgia, who doesn't have a fraction of the resources Dan Lanning has. And you give Kirby Smart his resources, his players, his backing, his funding. Kirby Smart wins 3 out of 4 national championships. 3 out of 4 national championships would be Kirby's record going on. He's been there 5. He hasn't won one. Okay? He hasn't won one. He's got one Big Ten championship. One. Okay? I just don't. I had a hard time not putting him first. I get the 48-8 record. I get all those things. But dude should have been stacking titles. Okay? From day one with what he's got to work with there. Okay? And coming in at number one is what I always referred to as Wonder Boy Lincoln Riley at USC. USC, proud school, very traditional school, very well-funded school, private school, large endowment, great place to recruit from. You've got the Los Angeles area, the whole Southern California area. You've got a couple neighboring states that put out a lot of good football players. And Lincoln has managed to go 35-18 with a 66% winning percentage. His last 2 seasons are 7-6 and 9-4. With all those resources he has and that genius offensive mind that we all thought that he had. Great place to recruit, super fertile in that part of the country. Hasn't at least these other guys, they're in the playoff talk. When we get there, they're not winning anything, but they do get to the playoffs. He's not even considered when we get to December, January, and we're talking about teams that have a chance. Now, with that said, excuse me, I do think USC is going to be better this year, but this is as we are right now. Now, I know this list is going to blow a lot of people away, and I know a lot of people are going to be, oh my God. No, these are coaches that have everything to work with. This is the NIL era. Again, they have the ability to buy whomever they want, whenever they want. They want to turn 30 players over, they can turn 30 players over. If they want to offer $8 million, $6 million to a player, they can do it. No questions are asked. They get who they want, best facilities, all these things, and they haven't won anything. Ryan Day's won a national championship. Can't put him on here. Okay. And we're not talking about 1 year wonder coaches, your your Gene Chiswick's, your Larry Cokers, those guys. That was a different era. We're in a different time now. This is a different time. This is how coaches are measured now, or should be measured. Is what do you do with the resources you have? Not whether you win or lose. That's development, winning, building a program. That's all out the window. You can buy teams now. So, what are you doing with these tremendous resources, and are you maximizing those resources? So, there you go. There's the top 5.